Anti-gun brainwashing. A porn star destroys what little credibility she had, and Missouri investigates Google for conservative censorship. This is The Loaded Mic, and I'm Dan Wass. Many anti-gunners realize they know nothing about guns and would never consider owning one. Since it would never be an option for them, they've already committed in their mind that their position is 100% anti-gun. Therefore, they believe they'll never have to contradict themselves by going back on their word. In other words, most anti-gunners never envision themselves becoming pro-gunners. But once that internal commitment is made, it's easy for them to denounce gun ownership and continue to justify all the anti-gun propaganda they can consume. At that point, they give themselves personal license to make the public announcement because they're convinced that their stance will never change. In other words, at that point, they believe they will never be called out by their anti-gun peers as a traitor to the cause. Many anti-gunners have been convinced or brainwashed to believe guns are the cause of death, regardless of the fact that a person has to actually pull the trigger. Having this belief and reserving the blame for the gun makes it easy for them to denounce any and all gun ownership. They actually feel better when they denounce guns because of their fear and hatred for guns. Denouncing guns and gun owners temporarily scratches the itch that's created by the anger and resentment that they harbor. For more Second Amendment content, please check out my Good Gun, Bad Guy book series at goodgunbadguy.com. So we're going to talk about this anti-gun brainwashing and many other things with, he's so smart, his parents put him in a special school, John Chiara.
Special.
And he's not political. He just hates stupid people, Anthony Diso.
Stupid.
All right. So what's going on this week, you guys?
Huh?
What's going on?
I voted.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
For Kamala?
It's a secret ballot.
Oh. Must have been the unicorns and stuff.
Well, I did want to talk about a little bit about the anti-gun brainwashing. And I think John, you just said, you were just telling us something about
Dark Horse podcast, yes.
Okay, so
Brett Weinstein had whatever it's now. I can tell you that.
You know, I like these guys like Brett, even his brother Eric. Eric says some pretty intelligent stuff and pretty interesting stuff that makes you think.
Well, plus these are people who are lifelong Democrats.
Yeah, and they're still on the. I mean, I think Brett is probably coming more to the right than Eric. But Eric doesn't. When he doesn't really talk about politics. He just talks about scientific stuff, and I kind of
that's what he's. He's
tickles my brain. That's what it does. It tickles it. Anyway, I probably completely disagree politically, but Brett is really coming to the right, isn't he?
Well, they're doing
cool
the Unity Party thing. Yeah, he's doing now there's in 2020 he had this separate thing trying to push third-party candidates and stuff.
Okay.
And this time around, they're doing the same kind of thing, but they're all backing Trump.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty amazing, really. I mean, objectively looking at all this kinds of stuff, there's so many people like that are out there that are, well, you got Tulsi Gabbard, you got RFK, you got all these people who were traditionally Democrats their whole lives, and now they're just like, the party has pushed them out, but Trump has welcomed them in. And this is another thing. Somebody else was commenting about how, everybody thinks Trump's this crazy, horrible person, and everybody who meets with him in person comes away thinking the exact opposite.
Oh, yeah.
That he's completely, he's easy to talk to. He listens to what you say. He cares about people's opinions. So,
well, what about this Brett Weinstein conversation with this Second Amendment on Second Amendment?
Brandon Straka, the guy's name.
Oh, okay.
And this
I
came
know
out
what that
today.
is.
I've listened to 10 minutes of it. But they got into a lot of how they've both changed their views on the Second Amendment, especially. Brett came from thinking, well, you know, you can't have a nuclear weapon, so we should limit your rights to control what kind of arms you can have and stuff. And now he's come around 180 degrees that, you know, you need whatever weapons you need to protect yourself, because that's the whole idea of the Second Amendment. Is that's the last stand against a tyrannical government.
We're about 250 years away from our founding, right? It did take a while, but people have forgot why we have guns. They've literally forgot why we have guns.
Absolutely.
There are 3% of the population who fought those battles.
Yep.
And told the king where he could stick it and beat the hell. And this is the funny thing. I get in arguments, just being in the Second Amendment world, but not arguments, but people try to tell me I'm wrong on the Second Amendment. People from the UK. It's hysterical because all I have to do is say,
Look at what's going on over there. They're in great shape over
didn't
there.
we kick your ass once because of guns?
And now they don't have guns, and they just have spoons and sporks. Good luck fighting with those, dummy.
Yeah, and
you're never getting your weapons back there.
well, think about it. If you're in that position, what you it probably serves them psychologically to denounce it because they know they can never have them.
Oh, they're jealous.
They're probably jealous. Yeah. It's so hysterical when they try to lecture me on guns. Silly, but anyway. So anyway, Brett.
No,
and
I think
Brandon.
I'm going to listen to the rest of it, but I think it started out as a really useful conversation of, you know, these two lifelong liberals talking about how they've changed their mind on all this stuff because the left has they're turning into lunatics, and rational people don't want to hang out with lunatics. You know, I mean, they just don't. I just read something, some woman copy and pasted something about all these horrible things that Trump had done, like pages and pages and pages of stuff. She's like, please share this. And I'm like, did you even read that? Do you know what's in there? Because I just looked at a couple things, and then I'm like, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
It's what
It's
what the media told her is true,
exactly.
though. You get that from all these stupid liberals on like Facebook and Twitter, and they just cut and paste from the media, or they just tell you something that's really not true, but they believe it.
Right. That's the worst part.
Like he's a Nazi and Hitler. Like some guy called me a Nazi. Oh no, neo-Nazi. I go, weren't you the stupid asses that were pushing Jews away from the college campuses?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's the neo-Nazi here?
Yeah.
It wasn't us. We were helping them.
It's so funny that they can call us, the people who support Israel, they can call us Nazis. Well,
That doesn't make any
their
sense.
disrespect doesn't make.
See what college did to them?
It's literally the opposite of reality. It's just it's the opposite. Well, I'm having a little bit of a struggle with this opinion editor over at the Gazette. This is in
The gazunk.
Schenectady and Albany County newspaper in New York. And she, I'm not going to say her name right now. If my opinion doesn't get published, then I will come out and really tell everybody what she's all about. But she's been giving me a hard time with this opinion. I'm talking about opposing Prop 1, okay, and how it hurts women's sports and all this stuff. And I used an example in my opinion letter of the boxer. And then she said, well, that was debunked. So she sent me a CNN article that debunked it, that he was actually a woman. The boxer, do you remember that one?
Oh, Olympic boxer.
So anyway, so I said, okay, fine. I said, so I'll take that out. And I used an example of Leah Thomas, the guy who won the swimming event, the big swimming competition. So I used that. And then she comes back and she says, well, you know, your first article was debunked. We can't publish this. And so then I go and I look through some of the stuff they were publishing, you know, some of the opinions from other people.
All liberals.
And they're bashing Trump. They're saying stuff that, you know, he just all sorts of stuff that's been debunked, all the typical left-wing lies, the Russia, the this, the that. And but she published all of it, and it's all been debunked. So it clearly shows the bias.
Right? Oh, yeah.
And I think what she's trying to do is stall my opinion until after the election. So we're going to see. And if she does, then
We're going to go march on the Gazette.
well, there's going to be some sort of retribution. There's going to be some sort of pushback. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but so let's just hope. I even told her, I said, look, it looks like you're being very biased. You don't want the truth getting out, but you can post all this nonsense, left-wing nonsense about Trump, and that's okay, and you'll publish that. But me, trying to be, and I'm dancing around stuff. I'm trying to be so careful not to really,
Right.
you know.
You don't want to trigger her more than you have to.
She's basically First Amendment rights going. You can't say anything, according to the gazunk.
Well, it's going to change, and if I have something to do with it, and there's some local politicians too who would get involved.
She needs to be fired.
Well,
Her whole job is to be unbiased, but obviously she's a dirtbag and she wants to play games.
by the next time we do this show, we'll know if my opinion piece got published. But anyway, so
Well, actually, again, Brett and Heather on the Dark Horse podcast, one of their recent episodes was about the boxer.
yeah,
They're evolutionary biologists. They went through the whole thing with the chromosomes and stuff and explained it all. So anybody interested might want to look.
and it is a guy, right?
Well,
Is that what they say?
technically, yes, a guy, and a lot of times that stuff doesn't even manifest itself until they get older. But you look at the girl,
Yeah,
guy, they, them, whatever.
and it's
Kind
pretty
of weird,
obvious,
right?
Oh, look at the volleyball player that hit the girl in the face with the ball and broke her face.
Yeah.
But this is what these idiots want to do in New York State. They want to let boys play with girls, go in their bathroom, hang out with them.
Well, they claim to want to protect women's rights.
know. Where are the
but
women's
they're
rights people?
Because they're so
only
weak.
abortion. That's the only rights that they want to protect.
That's not even a right to kill a baby.
Boy going into a bathroom is okay with the liberals.
Because they're so weak.
They're mental.
They're mental, but they're so weak they can't stand up to their peers. They're afraid.
Look what happens when you stand up to your peers. Look at Mayor Adams.
Yeah.
He's getting destroyed right now.
But look at Trump.
Yeah.
Trump stands up. Mayor Adams is actually, I disagree with just about everything he has to say, but he's actually standing up for himself.
Yeah.
So it takes more of that. Look at Trump. Nobody stood up to them more than Trump.
Well,
Anyway.
again, more podcast stuff. Jordan Peterson just did a psychologist analysis of Trump and Vance and Musk and all these people.
Yeah.
It's really came out yesterday. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
He's just going off and it's kind of campy and stuff. You know what I mean? But he just goes through and says, if these people are what you say they are, there's no way they could ever do what they've done. It's impossible for Trump to be where he is if he's all the things they say he is. It's
They're
just
all
not-
high.
it's not
They all
possible.
have high IQs.
Big time.
Liberals have they're like borderline. They're like they're in the 70s and 80s. Look at them. They can't think for themselves.
Well, they
And their
obviously can't.
rebuttals to anything you say to them is always, well, Trump's a Nazi. Wow, you're real good, bud.
We got a woke patrol coming up soon, but we got way off topic. But that's fine. But we have a woke patrol that's going to make you laugh. But let me get to one of our sponsors real quick. This device, the Cali Key, removes your AR from the definition of an assault weapon. Did you know that when so-called assault weapon ban lists are created, they exclude manually operated bolt-action firearms? So just by dropping the Cali Key into your direct impingement AR, in place of your semi-automatic BCG, you'll have a bolt-action rifle that falls outside the definition of assault weapon. You don't need to do anything else. So give the Cali Key a look, because with it, you could retain all your rifle's features, avoid registration complications, revive your black rifle sales as an FFL, regain the ability to do private party transfers, legally transport across hostile jurisdictions, hunt with your AR in areas like Pennsylvania, and enhance long-range precision and quieter suppressed shooting. Cali Key has state-specific expert attorney opinions on its website and supports grassroots Second Amendment organizations with its sales. Cali Key's mission is to empower customers and claw back our civil liberties. So go to CaliKey.com and use the discount code LOADED. CaliKey.com, discount code LOADED. All right. Let me get into something real quick here. Missouri launches an investigation into Google for allegedly censoring right-wing speech. This is an article from the Daily Caller. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey announced Thursday that he is launching an investigation into Google for allegedly censoring conservatives. Bailey noted that Google is the largest search engine in the country and the alleged censorship is occurring during the most consequential election in our nation's history. These claims are totally false, a Google spokesperson told Reuters. Search serves all our users. Reuters, sorry, thanks. I get a correction in my ear. Reuters, and search serves all our users, and our business rests on showing useful information to everyone. Okay, I don't know anybody who's ever used Google who actually believes that crap. You can search Donald Trump rally, and what comes up? Kamala Harris, right?
Yeah.
Talking about the rally.
Yeah, exactly. Former President Donald Trump suggested in August that Congress could shut down the search engine over alleged censorship. So again, I mean, censorship again. The left has to censor this stuff because they know that they don't have a winning truth on their side. They don't have the truth on their side. Go ahead. Any comments on the censorship thing?
It's bad.
It's bad. The Poynter Institute attributed the inaccurate fact checks to faulty algorithms and not bias from the tech companies.
So
that's why when you search for something and you got to go through 3 pages on Google to try to find what it is you're kind of looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
So the algorithm that they put on the system, they're blaming for you not being able to find stuff.
Just like AI, just like Siri and all these things, you can ask it certain questions and it will give you politically biased answers. It'll lie to you. So anyway, so just to wrap this up, Dr. Roger Marshall tweeted out, breaking, I'm launching a full investigation into Google's censorship and bias that is constricting the free flow of information. Google, the largest search engine operator in the world, has become a propaganda wing of the left. No more hiding behind your algorithm, he says. So anyway, that is that. And, oh, yeah, let's get to this story. I got so much to talk about today. I don't want to run out. This next story is about, frankly, kind of an ugly porn star who has apparently disrespected her own country by engaging in this line of work.
Oh, yeah.
While also disrespecting the U.S. military, which gives her the right to be a hoochie mama on camera.
There you go.
So I will give you the story here. What do we have here? Do we have any photos of this ugly woman? Look at her. That's a porn
That
star?
looks like AOC.
What the hell happened to the porn industry?
Look at those caterpillar eyebrows.
That's not a pretty woman. Do you guys think that she's good looking? I don't think so.
I mean, without the makeup, she's probably dog ugly.
Anyway.
I know we have a video, but let me get to this real quick first. Hamas supporting ex-porn star. Oh, she's an ex-porn star. Okay. Well, that figures. She probably didn't do very well with that face.
Yep.
Danny says she's one of the most popular porn stars.
I don't think she did many things, really. She only did.
People didn't hear Danny in my ear. He says she's one of the most popular.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
But she didn't do a lot of videos, I don't think, relative to what other people have done historically. But it's kind of a cult thing, because she is Middle Eastern. And anyway, I don't know.
Oh, like the taboo thing?
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right?
People infatuated with her. That's
But I mean, I don't think do you think is she pretty?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, she says, I hope U.S. service members get PTSD. So ex-porn star Mia Khalifa said she hopes U.S. military service members get scrambled up with PTSD in a controversial video posted on social media Tuesday. We're going to show that video here in a second if you haven't seen it. Khalifa, a Lebanese-American former adult film actress who was dropped from Playboy after she openly celebrated the October 7th Hamas terrorist attack on Israeli civilians, recorded the unhinged video while jabbing her phone camera with her nails and using a mocking voice. This is an article from Breitbart, our friends over at Breitbart. I don't need to tell you what she's going to say in the video because you're going to see that. Khalifa, who was once the highest-ranked actress on Pornhub, became infamous after receiving threats from Islamic terror groups like ISIS for performing adult content while wearing a hijab. So I guess that would make sense. They probably wouldn't like that, right?
No.
Absolutely. Jesus. After she expressed support for Hamas by writing, "Can someone please tell the freedom fighters in Palestine to flip their phones and film horizontal," in a since deleted social media post. What does she mean by that? I don't get it. Oh, they're filming in portrait. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what this this woman has to say.
Good morning to everybody who is not in the U.S. military. Good morning to everybody who is sitting at home and not on soil that doesn't belong to them, fighting a war for a country that doesn't care about them. I hope you go over there and get your little brain all scrambled up with PTSD and then come back here and see how much the United States cares about you, Pookie. See how much they care about you when you come back with, "Oh, I'm so sad. I piss my pants every time I see a falafel stand in Manhattan." Let's see how much the VA cares about you. Let's see what they tell you to do with your little broken brain from going over to fight a war that's not yours. They're going to tell you to try breathing exercises because the U.S. government does not give a about you once you cannot die for them. Once you're done, once you're a shell, they don't care about you.
Isn't it amazing how this skank from another country can come to our country, do a business that many would believe is immoral, be able to do that type of work because American men went out and fought for her to have the freedom to do that, and then she disrespects them like this. This is astonishing to me that we even allow these people in our country.
It's only one explanation.
Oh boy,
She's stupid.
That's all she could do in life. She's probably not smart enough to do anything else.
but the idea that she completely ignores where the freedom to do that comes from.
Then maybe we should drop her off at
I'd send her over to freaking.
her and her hood hat. Send her over.
Oh, it's just amazing. You know,
Drop her right off.
It's skanks like this, people who disrespect our country, that piss me off so much. Who the hell does she think she is to disrespect our military?
How does she know all this stuff about the military? Where does that come from?
Oh my God, unbelievable.
Pretty weird.
Well, she has a different.
Anyway.
She has a different kind of PTSD. I can't really say it, but yeah.
See how you are, Anthony? You're mean.
It just, I don't know. It's so disrespectful.
Well, but again, and she's so adamant about it and so sure of herself.
Yeah, and so
in your
sarcastic
face
about
So
it.
sarcastic. It's like,
Arrogant.
nice people.
God.
But that's what I get. You get that from a lot of people on the left, right? Whenever you try to talk to them, they come at you like that. And 5 years, whoa, back off now.
She recognizes that she would never be able to do that type of work in her country.
Never.
So she comes to our country, not realizing who's actually making that a possibility for her, and then disrespects those very people. It's unbelievable to me. The arrogance, or does she not realize how this system works?
I hope she made enough money to last her because she's never going to get hired again.
Well, it's funny because like back in the 70s when you had VCR tapes and stuff, and if you happened to watch any porn movies in the 70s, the first
the Bush years.
Well, I'm just saying, the first thing that would come up is the flag waving. You got to fight for freedom of speech. Blah blah blah. The whole patriotic,
Yeah.
That's what it was all about. That's what was their main shtick in the beginning. That's how they. One thing they used to justify, we're doing this thing that a lot of people don't like, but you live in America, therefore you can have the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression to do whatever you want to do. That was what it was all about. So what she's doing is like, but she can do it because she's here. Like you say, if she was home in
there's
Lebanon,
no backlash.
they'd throw her off a building.
They would have thrown her off a building a long time ago. Oh, my God. Anyway, LifeWave is a non-transdermal patch that allows your body to produce its own natural pharmacy through light energy. Now, the X30 patch tells your body to emit heat in the form of light. which reflects back into your body, elevating a certain copper peptide. This peptide activates your stem cells, which are the only type that can move throughout your body to heal inflammation. LifeWave offers an affordable membership and has a history of wellness that spans 20 years. It's been around since 2004 to help organizations like SEAL Team 6 and the Olympic swim team stay awake and alert. Today, these non-addictive patches are also used by thousands of athletes and military professionals. LifeWave is available in over 80 countries, giving millions the opportunity of maximum wellness. So for more information, testimonials, patents, and studies, go to justpatch.biz. All right. Anything else on this Mia girl?
No. She's
All
a
right.
whore.
We've heard enough.
She's a whore. Well, it's obvious she is. I mean, that's her job, being a.
I wonder what she's going to do for the rest of her life. Maybe OnlyFans.
Marry a
Well,
Democrat.
I mean, I don't know. I really have no idea how much money these girls make, and do they have enough to bank for their future from doing these? Like, how much they get paid per video?
I think Anthony should be doing an investigation.
A porn invest? No, he'll never
I'm
never
sure
have
it's
any
I'm
results.
sure you could. It's not a secret, I don't think. I
Well,
mean,
they
I don't
make
know.
way more than back in the 70s and 80s.
What do we? We're just guessing, but what do we think?
Oh, millions.
Yeah.
There's an OnlyFans girl that made like 25,
Well,
30
that
million
kind of
dollars.
that kind of stuff.
It's a successful business.
The
Danny
personal subscription
chimed in and said it's a
stuff is-
successful business. So
Makes sense, right? I mean, the OnlyFans stuff makes
It's a girl
complete
who's like
sense.
20-something years old, and she's worth like $30 million.
Yeah, you can I mean, I'm
There's
sure young girls
perverts
can easily
everywhere.
make 10, 20 grand a month doing that stuff.
Yeah, there's
Easy.
people selling their dirty socks and underwear to these perverts. They're everywhere.
Do you do that?
No. You do. You sell your undies?
I don't have. I you know what I did? I have a whole bag of tidy whiteys that I use
Do you?
to clean
Do
off a bunch of dirty
Do
stuff.
they have marks on them?
No,
Oh,
well,
little
freshly,
skids?
freshly laundered
Oh,
rags, ready
boy.
to go. I used them the other day.
do you sell your undies?
Clean the wires from the fair.
Oh boy! All right, this is where the show, folks. This is where the show sometimes goes off the rails, but that's okay. All right. There'll be no underwear selling out of the
Wow.
studio.
It's going to make us some money, John.
Who would buy someone's underwear?
Dude, they do. They buy their socks.
Oh, I believe that.
They do.
We got
And
problems.
they want them dirty.
Certain people that live in Vermont in their mother's basement might buy all kinds of stuff.
We've
What's his
got.
name?
Oh my
I
god.
don't know. Well, no BS on this show.
We've got problems in this country. We've got mental issues. If people are buying other people's used underwear,
They are.
and what we also
And
For
voting.
$500.
and they vote, right?
They'll pay $500 for some stinky
That should be a
underwear.
question on the voting registration. Have you ever bought anyone's underwear?
Biden has.
Oh, jeez. Little boys.
Oh my God!
What's
All right,
next, Dan?
it's time for a woke
Oh,
patrol.
good. We haven't had one of these in a while.
Woke Patrol.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
Left-wing brainwashing is not just limited to firearms and the Second Amendment. The media is able to twist the thoughts of these already unstable people and make them behave like children when it comes to many topics. The liberal progressive mindset has really started to look like a mental disorder. Now, in this next clip, an older woman clearly believes that her political position gives her the right to enter someone's property and verbally assault them. Maybe it's time to start showing these lunatics some consequences and make them pay a price for their actions. Watch this.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Shameful. Are you the one that walks by here and always screaming at people? No, I haven't walked by recently. Okay, because a lot of people walk by and scream. Yeah, I'm not surprised. You are voting for the devil. Don't you know that? No. Why are you voting for him? Because I believe he is the moral candidate. Oh, my God. F you for that one. That's
Moral?
exactly right. That's how your side acts.
Oh my God!
That's
He's
how
the
you
most
guys-
immoral person around.
In your opinion, that's
Oh,
okay. Yeah, that's, I'm sorry.
That's what really gets her burned up.
Have a nice day.
Watch this.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Oh,
No. If if that was me, I would have picked her old ass up and chucked her off the porch. I don't care what anyone says. I would have been like, "Bye now." What the balls of that woman to ring a doorbell and
Well, so let's talk about that. It's
Wow.
the arrogance that comes along with
Absolutely.
that ideology.
Because they believe. That's all they have. They believe something to be true. And if you believe something to be true, you can do anything. If you believe Trump is Hitler, you can do anything to not get him elected, right? Doesn't matter. They feel justified.
what a
terrible.
psycho.
Yeah. But no, I think you're right, because it's the propaganda that literally changes the belief structure in the brain.
For people that already want to feel self-important anyway. They want to think that they got something important to say and they have a mission in life to go out and change people and make the world a better place. Stay home and watch TV.
That's a lifelong Democrat right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She won't
That's
change.
a liberal trash can. She has voted from the age of 18 to her dirt old age now as liberal. They're the problem in this country. They stick to their thing.
The old ones, the
old people. They're useless.
Well, the thing of it is, though, if they ever look back to when they started voting, they would realize that the party now is not the party that they started voting for.
They'll never-
That's why everybody's leaving.
Yeah, but they'll never change.
They'll
You're right.
never shift. They'll
That's what
never.
I mean. All you need is a belief. You don't have to think. You don't have to reason. You don't have to research. You don't have to care about anything except how you feel. And that's. But and they just and the left pushes that. Oh, you're supposed to feel good about this and that. Blah blah blah.
Isn't brainwashing interesting though? How it works?
It works in all kinds of ways. I mean, you know what I mean? There's good, bad brainwashing, all kinds of. But when you see something like that, when your brainwashing comes to the point where you're going to go out and poke somebody else and tell them they're
Go
wrong,
on their front porch and knock on their door.
On private property.
Yeah.
I'd call the cops.
Nah, I'd have threw her off the porch.
Well, you would have got your slingshot out first, and then she would have ran away.
I would have slingshotted her.
She'll saw that red dot on her forehead.
I would have sprayed her with the hose. I think that would have really. I think that
Pepper
would have
spray.
been a good. No, spray her with the hose.
I'm cleansing you.
Yeah.
Too bad they don't make Ring doorbells with pepper spray built in, huh?
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be, as soon as you push the button, it sprays
Can
you
you
with
please
pepper
look into
spray.
the camera? I can't see you.
Oh man! All right, we got a lot more coming up. Don't go away. Right back after this.
The Cali Key removes your AR from the definition of an assault weapon. It lets you keep your rifle with all its features, avoid registration hassles, and transport in hostile jurisdictions. The Cali Key also lets you hunt in jurisdictions like Pennsylvania and enhances long-range precision shooting. Cali Key's expert legal opinions empower informed decisions, and sales help grassroots Second Amendment organizations. Cali Key is your tool to keep and equip your AR, empower yourself, and defend your civil rights.
Our founding fathers saw them coming over 200 years away. That's why they wrote the Second Amendment. Join us in the fight to preserve your gun rights and stop unconstitutional gun control. Gun Owners of America is the country's only no-compromise gun rights organization. Not only do we inform and educate, but we bring the fight to court and win. Your God-given right to keep and bear arms is our top priority. Become a member today and help us take back America. Join us at gunowners.org.
Damn part.
All right, we're live. Sorry about that. Yeah. We were just talking about the old lady in the last clip, and it's just so amazing that people can be like that.
With the signs are tearing the signs off the lawn or running them over. It's like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah, they're delusional, and they're delusional with anger and hatred. Imagine having that much hatred and anger. I mean, hey, I've been pissed off before, but imagine living with that all day, every day about some person you don't even know.
We know.
According to them, they know everything.
Some person today asked me, "Are you good friends with Trump? Do you know him well?" And I'm like, "Okay, turn that around. And what do you know about whoever? You know." Crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh my
People they're insane. Okay. Anyway, moving on to this story. Kind of an interesting story. It's in the New York Post. A Florida murderer lunges at the father of the teen that he killed over Yeezy shoes in a courtroom outburst before sentencing. So A Florida murderer leapt out of his courtroom chair towards his victim's family when a heartbroken father called his teen daughter's killer an animal for fatally shooting her over a pair of Yeezys. I guess Yeezys are these pretty expensive sneakers.
Kanye West shoes, aren't they?
I don't know. I wear Chuck T's, so my sneakers cost under $50 a pair. So
I shop at Marshall's.
I don't know much about sneakers. Anyway, the family of 18-year-old Andrea Camps Lacayo, rather. Can we show a picture of her? Do we have a photo of Andrea? No, that's not Andrea. There she is.
Porn star?
The family had a chance to speak face-to-face to Adrian Cosby, who's accused of murdering the high school senior. And now let's show Adrian Cosby. Well, he likes it. Yeah, nice guy. She killed her in 2020.
Why did he kill her? What happened?
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
The father says, "You are the epitome of evil and darkness that this world represents." And the father, Anthony Camps, told Cosby in a victim impact statement, according to NBC Miami, "There's no forgiveness on this earth for animals like you." I would probably agree with him. "There's only one place where animals like you belong, and that's in prison for the rest of your life," added Camps, who was surrounded by family and his daughter's high school sweetheart. Camp's statement, directed at his daughter's killer, set the 23-year-old off on a rampage just feet from the podium. "What the F you talking about, B?" Cosby yelled as he, I can't say both those two words. "What the F you talking about, B?" Cosby yelled as he stood up and attempted to lunge toward the family. Court officers subdued Cosby and rushed him out of the courtroom as he hurled out several more profanities toward Camps Lacayo's loved ones, who needed to be held back from Cosby. I think we have so here's how the story began. John was asked. So her and her boyfriend, Sergio Bourbon, were trying to sell some personal belongings to make money during the COVID pandemic. The couple had been trying to sell 3 pairs of Adidas Yeezys worth $935. $935. Who's going to spend $1,000 on a pair of sneakers?
They must be good.
Oh, my God. Anyway, when they set up a meeting with Cosby and 19-year-old George Walton on April 7th of 2020, now, the couple met with Walton outside an abandoned house in Homestead near Florida's Turnpike. Walton asked to try the pair of shoes on, designed and launched by rapper Kanye West, but Bourbon argued to see payment first. Cosby then approached Bourbon's driver's side door and opened fire, striking Camps Lacayo and Bourbon. Bourbon was grazed in the arm, while Camps Lacayo was shot at least once in the torso. Bourbon drove off, but quickly pulled over on the side of the road when he realized his girlfriend was dying. The teen was fading in and out of consciousness when first responders arrived. Miami-Dade Police Sergeant Jenna Parameter testified in Cosby's trial, recalling Camp Lacayo's asking if she was going to be okay. She faded back out, closed her eyes. I guess that was it. So we got a video here that will show this outburst in court by this animal.
The defendant, Adrian Cosby, jumped out of his chair and tried lunging at the victim's family before court officers intervened. Cosby was taken out of the courtroom and his whole family left. It took a few minutes for order to be restored. Cosby was just found guilty by a jury of murder, attempted murder, and attempted robbery.
As to count 1, first-degree felony murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree felony murder.
In 2020, 18-year-old high school senior Andrea Lacayo lost her life over a pair of Yeezy sneakers. She and her boyfriend were trying to sell the popular shoes, but the sneaker sale escalated to murder when Lacayo was shot and killed. Her boyfriend, Sergio Bourbon, survived the shooting and told jurors he and his high school sweetheart were hoping to sell the popular Yeezy sneakers to a man for over $900. Bourbon claims Cosby, the man that was on trial, randomly approached to kill him. Cosby was charged with murder in the first degree along with attempted murder for shooting at Bourbon. Here's the state's closing arguments today before the jury started deliberating.
This was an attempted robbery, a setup of a robbery that went bad. And instead of walking away with 3 pairs of Yeezys, Adrian Cosby took an 18-year-old girl's life.
So it's open for commentary.
So that's why you should carry.
Of course. Yeah. But
I mean, why didn't you just steal his shoes and leave?
yeah.
But why you got to shoot somebody?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to see the money first?
I think a lot of these
Criminals are just
animals.
aminals.
I got a story about that.
These animal criminals, they have such a disregard for human life that they don't see it as any value.
Obviously.
How could you just kill somebody? Have no, and I think that's part of the problem with what's being taught in our society is that, and it may have to do with this lack of religion, lack of belief in God, lack of, where people are starting to grow up, younger generations, and have really no care in the world for
Lack of parenting.
Yeah, but really no value. No, they don't put a value on a life. I think. Anyway, sorry.
I
go ahead.
think. No, I must be. I don't know how you just shoot somebody. Unbelievable.
Yeah, if this isn't enough, like Anthony said, to convince you to carry a gun, I don't know what is. I honestly, I don't.
Yep.
If you can see this,
Especially in Florida.
well, if you can see this animal, this guy kill these two or try to kill these 2 young kids, if you can see that once, and you still denounce gun ownership,
If only
Something's
one
wrong.
life was saved.
something's wrong with you. Yeah,
Especially in Florida, you don't need a permit. Just go buy a gun.
yeah.
Really?
Ah, man. Anyway, you want to know who's fighting for your gun rights? Gun Owners of America. GOA is the no compromise gun rights group, so I urge you to become a member at gunowners.org. What have they done? Well, GOA secured a preliminary injunction against the ATF pistol brace rule. GOA members submitted a record 85,000 plus comments opposing the ATF's universal registration check rule. They helped enact permitless carry in Nebraska and Florida. GOA secured victories in California, Illinois, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Plus, they won 2 legal victories against the ATF zero tolerance policy, and GOA fought to overturn Joe Biden's ban on funding hunter education, shooting sports, and archery in schools. So with the constant attacks on our Second Amendment, we often ask ourselves, well, what can I do about it? And this is what you can do. You can become a member at gunowners.org and help us save the Second Amendment. Anyway, anything else on that?
Well, and you were saying that, just something flashed in my head. We often comment to people about the First Amendment, that the whole idea of the First Amendment is that people you don't like can say things to you or about you that you don't like.
Right.
That's what it's about. That's what it has to be. Otherwise, it doesn't have any teeth, right? There's no
and you
meaning
can't
to it.
stop them from saying
Right,
it.
exactly. Well, the same with the Second Amendment. If there comes up a situation that you can't anticipate, you have to have the right to be able to protect yourself.
Defend your life.
Or choose to. You don't have to do it, but you should have the right to choose that, regardless. That's what the Second Amendment, that's what the amendments are about. They're not about statistics and what you think is true for a lot of people. It's about what's true for you in a given situation and what you're able to do about
It's
it.
about we have the right for the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I mean, that's
Staying alive.
Yeah, right. We can protect our own life, That's just part of being human. What kind of idiotic notion is it that people can carry this notion that God creates you and you go along on the earth and you interact and you live a life, but you can't protect it? What? Are you kidding me? You're telling me that I can't defend and protect my own life? The whole idea, the whole notion of limiting self-defense is absolutely preposterous to me.
Old Hochul thinks that's true.
Who the hell does she think she
She
is?
just-
It's unbelievable.
Didn't they just overturn her sensitive area?
Yeah.
Now she can't, and the judge told her, do not appeal it.
Can't enforce it.
Can't enforce it, and he said, do not appeal this again.
Okay. Okay. So no. Okay. Well, I don't know about the appeal. I'm sure they're going to appeal it if they can.
I think he said don't.
Okay.
Don't do it again. Can't keep appealing the same thing. He
Right.
said we're done with that.
Yeah. Well,
You got to stop letting her appeal thing. Once your appeal's done, you're done. I mean, there shouldn't be 25 appeals to the same thing.
yeah, it was deemed unconstitutional and unenforceable.
Yeah.
So if people don't know what the whole thing, the Concealed Carry Improvement Act was Hochul, originally appointed Governor Hochul's package of gun laws in New York State. And one of the things was she wanted to make it so difficult for people because she just the gun laws in New York got killed in the Bruin case. And Judge Clarence Thomas says, no, you can't you can't tell people not to carry a gun. They don't. Your laws don't meet historical tradition. You can't do it. So she comes out with this. Well, if I'm going to be forced to give people the privilege of carrying a gun, then I'm going to make it so difficult that they have nowhere they can carry it. We're going to limit all the places.
Sensitive areas.
So sensitive locations came in. She said, okay, we're going to deem everything sensitive location unless the property owner gives you written approval with a sign or you have personal approval to carry on that particular. And nobody's going to put the sign up. Nobody's going to make these accommodations. So essentially what she did with the sensitive locations was deem all private businesses open to the public gun-free zones.
And that's gone now.
Judge just turned it over. He said, nope, it's unconstitutional and it's unenforceable in New York State.
Well, that's because in order for that to make any sense, you would have to assume that you would know when you're going to be attacked and when you might need a gun. So you would go to the owner ahead of time and get permission. Somebody's going to rob me in your store tomorrow. Is it okay if I bring my gun?
Just the idea that these
Liberal
people,
logic.
just the idea that they think they can restrict your ability to save your own life. It's preposterous to me. I can't understand how people even go along and can accept it.
I don't even know who allowed the permitting process. Judges. When was that all instilled?
Well, there's hopefully a case coming that will hit New York on the permitting process itself. And I can't talk about who it is or whatever because the case hasn't happened. But I have some inside information on a potential case that will be coming that will basically turn the New York State permitting process on its head. And if it does, that will have a trickling effect down on all the other states. And hopefully we can get back to a constitutional carry across the country. Who in their right mind thinks that it's okay for the government to decide whether you can carry a gun or not? But the problem is it's become so normalized in our society that people are like, well, that's normal. No, it's not normal. No, it's not normal for another man to tell me that I can't protect my life with a gun.
And if you don't agree with it, don't carry.
Exactly. You want to be defenseless? Go ahead.
Like Maine, before they became a constitutional carrier, that was a violent state. Now they have no crime. Except for the idiot at the bowling alley who told people they couldn't bring their guns in, and then a mass shooter came in.
Exactly. That's a great point.
But there's the guy there, and you know what? It's true. Think about it. If he would have just allowed those people's guns were in their car.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to bring their guns
right
in the bowling alley, so they left them in their glove box. Now, if all those people had guns, do you think the mass shooter would have got off any fight? No, he would have got off a couple rounds, and they would have lit him up.
You got to watch out, though, because a lot of people shoot people in bowling alleys, A lot of legal gun owners come into bowling alleys just to shoot people.
Well, that's the ironic thing, because it never happens until you put the sign up that says gun-free zone.
There you go.
That's
and
what
all
he
you
did.
need is one lunatic to see that. And, oh, there's my target. Let's go. You're encouraging them.
Especially in Maine, where you can carry anywhere. He saw the sign. He's like, well, The dummies don't have anything on them. And you know, I blame the bowling alley guy for whoever got murdered there. It's on him.
We called him out on the show. I think
it's on him. He's a dirtbag, and he needs to take the sign down.
Is the sign still
Or
up?
don't patronize him and close him.
Right.
I mean, why are you telling people they can't bring their gun into your bowling alley? You're not going to see them.
And why are people leaving their guns in their truck? Why are they doing
Because
it?
probably according to the law, if he gets caught in the, you know what I mean?
They could get in trouble. That's why.
And that's what Hochul does. Hochul does the whole scare tactic thing. Yeah. If I catch you doing this, I'm going to prosecute you to the end of the earth. That's just what she does. Yeah. Get some more Botox, you rat face.
Oh my God! How much time, Danny? How much time we got here? I got another story. Okay, so I got 10 minutes. Okay, so here's a story in New York Post. This was from last year, September, but I wanted to bring it up because it's pretty interesting, and I don't know if it got a lot of press. New York Post says cops are called after Jennifer Granholm staffer uses gas-powered car to hold EV charging spot for Biden's energy secretary. Okay, I'll explain. A Georgia family called 911 earlier in the summer after a staffer for Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm used a non-electric vehicle to hog the only open EV charging station outside a local Walmart while the Biden administration official was en route. Granholm, 64, was on a 4-day road trip from North Carolina to Tennessee promoting green energy with a traveling caravan of electric and non-electric vehicles when a member of her advance team used a gasoline-powered car to reserve a charging station for her, according to NPR, angering at least one family who had been waiting in line. Okay, so here's the energy secretary. She's trying to make this point that electric cars are so great and it's not a problem at all. So she's driving, making this long trip to try to prove this thing so they can sell the idea of electric vehicles. Well, she would have somebody in a gas-powered car going miles ahead, hogging the electric charging station. So when she pulled in like a queen, she could have the charging station to herself. The inconsiderate practice is known as icing, a reference to the internal combustion engines inside gasoline-powered vehicles, and is subjected to a $100 fine in Washington, D.C., where the Department of Energy is headquartered. But it's not illegal in Grovetown, where the June incident occurred. There's literally a non-electric car that is taking up space who said they're holding the space for somebody else, and it's holding up a whole bunch of people who need to charge their cars, a furious woman told a 911 operator. And then there's pictures of her charging the car and everything. An NPR reporter traveling with Granholm's caravan noted that it was a sweltering day and that the boxed-out woman had a baby with her. So here's the woman having to sit and wait with her baby in a hot car. A charging station opened while the woman was online with 911, but she noted there's other people who are also waiting, and so it was a big problem. But just so this woman, do we have a picture of this Jennifer Granholm skank? Oh. There she is. She's the energy secretary under Biden. So this story gets even worse. But let's play. I think we got a video. Do we have a video of this?
Here before this committee a year
later. Oh, hold up
after
on this video for 1 second.
misleading
Let me
us.
explain. Let me explain before we play that video. So anyway, so here's this woman, right? They're trying to sell the Biden EV thing, and they're passing out grants all over the country for people to put these EV stations in. We know the infrastructure's not ready, right? We've talked about this. Anyway, so here's the energy, what's her name? Energy secretary or whatever.
You're here before this committee a year later after actively misleading to us, after denying and delaying, and now you won't tell us. Was one of them Proterra?
No.
You sat on the board of directors at Proterra. You made millions, CNN reports, and stock
She's
options at
also
Proterra. Then
stocks.
you promoted Proterra stock and Proterra products as
Did
energy
not. Sir,
secretary. Was
sir,
that one of the
sir.
stocks that you sold?
This is so, I mean, really.
Was that one of the stocks
Really?
that you sold? Yes,
No,
really.
no,
You
it
are presiding over institutionalized corruption in your energy department. You have violated the Stock Act 9 separate times. You have been referred by the Inspector General for violations of the Hatch Act. It is institutionalized corruption that you are now the face of. And here's what I'm trying to figure out. I just want to know who really runs the energy department. Is it you, or is it the mega corporations whose stock that you own that you're making profits in?
Oh, my goodness.
Or maybe it's the foreign billionaires who fund your conferences. Let's try something else. Do you know the names of the foreign billionaires who fund the conferences you go to? Since you don't know the stocks, do you know the names of the foreign billionaires?
This is unbelievable to me.
Let me help you.
Mr. Chairman.
One of them
be
is
accused like
Hans-Org
this.
Weiss, a Swiss billionaire who has used various dark money front
I do
groups
not know what you
to
are
funnel
talking about.
various dark money front groups to funnel foreign money into American politics. He has used the Burger Action Fund, $20 million, that then sent money to the Fund for a Better Future, that then sent money to the Climate Power Group that has funded conferences you've attended. Do you know who this is? Do you think it's a good idea to attend conferences funded by foreign billionaires?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know the stocks, you don't know the billionaires, you would take no responsibility. Meanwhile, your energy department, executives in your energy department are trading stocks in companies that they have direct oversight over, and you were too.
That is in.
So let me summarize. She's betting on the stocks that she has direct influence over, and she's doing these phony trips with electric vehicles to try to promote the EV cars and charging stations, and having people go up ahead of her to block out the EV chargers so she can continue on her trip so it looks like it's a very comfortable and easy way of travel, right? What are your thoughts?
Pete Rose cheats on baseball and it's ruined for life. She does all this trading the stock stuff. That's crazy though. It's insider trading, right?
It's got to be, right? Pelosi's doing the same damn
Pelosi
thing.
does the same thing.
But nothing ever happens to them, though.
I agree. Pelosi was a big deal years ago with her husband and stuff, and nothing ever happened.
Yeah, they hold all these town halls or whatever they're doing here, and it's just that's all it is. No one goes to jail. No one gets in trouble.
It's not right.
It's all smoke. It's a clown show. Smoke and mirrors. Have you ever seen a politician go to jail for doing anything? No.
Try to get Trump in jail.
Wasn't there a Republican that went to, I don't know, I can't remember who it was.
Well,
but
there's.
I bet you she still has that job.
the Democrats won't get in trouble
No.
for it.
I bet you she still has that job.
I just thought it was interesting, and I thought it was a good opportunity to call out the hypocrisy.
Well, see, these are the kind of things, though, I think that we're hoping down the line, if Trump gets elected and he puts Musk in there to look at all this stupid crap that's going on, that some of this stuff comes to light, because that's got to be happening all over the place, right? Yeah. It's like the same thing with the elections, you know. Gee, Pennsylvania found all these illegal registration paperwork and stuff. When you, whoa, that's just that little. Wait a minute, if it's happening there, why is it not happening everywhere else? Right. People are. This is what really kills me about the logic of the left, is that they think that human beings are something that they think they are. But if you're on the other side, then you're another thing. You're evil if you're over here, and you're good if you're over here. And the only way they can maintain that belief is to totally ignore human motivation and human behavior. Oh, there's only a couple bad ballots. That doesn't mean anything. What if it didn't change the election? That's not the point. Yeah. It's the same with the girl swimmers and everything else. It's not the point that it might change something. It's the point is that the system is set up not to have that go on. Yeah. And when you let it go on in one place, it's just same with the gun laws. You let it go on in one place, you're encouraging it to go on in other places. You got to stop that stuff.
Yeah. It's like traffic lights. Well, you know, if we can have them working some of the time, and
good example.
You know, and
or have a stupid liberal pushing the buttons to green and red.
Right. Yeah. Have them have some liberal deciding what, you know. He's going.
But I'm saying,
yeah,
ID, no mail-in ballots. That's how the system should be.
Of course.
100%. If you can't show up to a voting, then you don't vote.
Yeah.
Paper ballots should not be anymore. I don't care if you're 100 years old. If you can't get your ass down to the polling place, then you ain't voting.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's it.
Paper ballots are why we have cheating. Look they just found that video we saw. They found hundreds of. Someone said they put them in, but then that's not their signature. Like they got their address and just kept.
And
putting
they
the same-
admitted that it's not their signature.
Yeah, and they admit it's not their signature. So these people take them and they're copying them and they're just giving them in. There's like hundreds of them.
Like I told you guys earlier, I was poll watching, and the Democrat was arguing with me that he didn't have to check their license when the signature didn't match. They don't care. If it's a vote for them, they want
Because
it to go.
it shows right up on your thing what you're registered at, right? When I signed my screen, it said registration Republican right there. So the person knows that you're Democrat.
But the thing is, even if they didn't, just the ethical portion of this thing, when someone just scribbles something on a thing and you have their signature to verify, you can see it on the screen and it clearly doesn't match, and you just let them go without asking for their license. And the Democrat who was working the polls, as I was watching over his shoulder, he wanted to argue with me about it. And obviously I didn't let him get away with it.
Obviously.
But that's the way they are. Anyway, okay, so there it is. There's the music. Thanks so much for watching The Loaded Mic on all our networks. You can catch the podcast on just about any podcast platform out there. And thanks for watching the show today. You can also catch us at loadedmic.com, loadedmic.com. And remember, the Second Amendment is not a privilege. It's your right.